Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Eve's Creations Paint Party. It's Friday night. What? We're doing caught, fenced in, spring fence. I don't know what you want to call it. This is what we're doing. So say hello if you're painting with me. Let me know if anyone's painting with you with me. And of course, little man's in here. He's been very excited the past 2 hours. He couldn't wait for his moment. So let's give it to him. Let's give him his moment. All right, it's on. You're on, buddy. Go for it. Say hi. Oh my goodness. All the past couple hours he has been spinning, barking, talking to me, doing all sorts of things. And it's finally his moment in the spotlight. Nothing. Alright, let me put you guys in your handy dandy holder. How are y'all tonight? Everybody's doing well. Let me see. The things I gotta tell you. There's things I have to tell you. You guys ready for your jolt? Jolt! Alright. There you go. All jolted up. What? Alright. So, all of my videos are kid-friendly. I'm going to try to watch this thing. If you could watch your comments. All my replays are available on YouTube. So, please, head on over there and subscribe. Okay, this way you're notified when the videos are posted and you can get on that. Okay, so it is the same on YouTube as it is on Facebook, Eve's Creations Paint Party. Okay, all my original artwork is available for sale. Okay, that's on Etsy. It's Eve's Creations Art on Etsy. Okay, so I'm going to share that link with you. Ba-boom. Alright, Stars is enabled for support. I also take PayPal and Venmo. I'm going to share those links with you. Alright, we're just going to get this all out of the way now. We're just going to take care of all of it. So I don't have to think about what I got to remember to tell you. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. Because I already forgot whether I just shared PayPal or Venmo with you. That's how quickly that left the brain. I also have Zelle. If you message me, I can give you my Zelle code, and also make sure to remember, if you do send support of $5 or more, direct message me your address and I can get you free brushes. Yes, I've been slacking on the Nifties. I know. I'm getting there. I had merchandise ordered and lots of questions on merchandise, and I was taking care of all that, and Nifties are coming out soon. I will make a post when I send out the Nifties. Okay, guys. Hello. Joan is here. Hey, Joan. Marcia is here. Hi, Marcia. How you doing? How you ladies doing? That's it? Joan and Marcia? All right. Party of three. Party of three coming up. Party of three coming at you. Okay, sounds good to me. How you ladies doing tonight? Hi, Carolyn. How are you, sweetie? Hi. All right. So, the weapons this evening. My pen just ran out of ink. Perfect. Okay, so Carolyn's in the house. Let me write down Carolyn. And the weapons this evening, a whole lot of brushes. A whole lot of brushes. You guys ready for all these brushes we're using? Kimberly's here. Hello, Kimberly. How are you, sweetheart? You guys ready? It's a whole slew of brushes. Okay. We have Big Boy in the house. He is a 1-inch flat. Mini-Me hanging out with us. He is a small shader. We have Tiny in the house, a round for details. Medium Fluffy hanging out with us, okay, for our smushing. Large Fluffy for our larger smushing. And, of course, Mr. Nifty for our details. That's a lot of brushes, right? 6,000%. Lots and lots of brushes. Alright, now, you know I can't show you both at once what I'm working on and where we're going. So, take your screenshot, Joan, take your screenshot so you get your screenshot, dear. My dear. My dearest dear. And Carolyn. Lots of cleaning today in kitchen and closets. Yeah, I just did my closet too. I had to take all my spring stuff out. That's funny that you did that. Kimberly is here. Did I write Kimberly? I did. I got Kimberly. Kathy. Woohoo! All right, Kathy. I love to hear that. You know that. 6,000%. So I am working on a 16 by 20 canvas. It is 16 this way, 20 straight up and down. If you're working on something different, that is totally okay, as long as you're going in the general area that, as long as you are in, I will learn how to talk eventually. In the general area that I am in, you're going to be fine. Ugh. Those of you following Make 'em Ups, I just went with a pretty pink to match the hat. Okay, and you guys can make any hats you want. You can add any flowers you want to this painting. You know, you could put vines going up the fence if you want to. So many things that you can do, which I did not do on purpose, so you guys can get creative and not just copy, right? Rogue is, go rogue. Supported here. That's the word I was looking for. Rogue is supported here. So, 6,000%. All right, guys. Joan, you ready? Did you take your screenshot, darling? Now, there's a test tonight. I'm going to be testing all of yous because this painting has cast shadows in it. I wonder where we learned about that. And it has perspective in it. I wonder where we learned about that. So you better be on point because I'm going to be asking you questions about both of them. Don't forget. All right, Joan. Don't forget Stars is enabled, Venmo and PayPal for support, guys. And let's get to it, all right? So, you think so? You think you're ready? I don't know if I'm ready. So, if you're almost ready, I'll be almost ready. And then maybe that'll add up to being ready together. Wow, I actually said that correctly. All right. It's the almighty gesso canvas, and we're going to hit it with our almighty brushes, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. All right, so I'll tap that big boy. And we're going in with yellow and white. Yellow and white, baby. Yellow and white. We got our white. And we got our yellow, right? And the whole top half. The whole top half. Yellow and white. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty color. Okay? Easy peasy. We're just filling this whole top of the sky a bright, pretty yellow color. Grabbing yellow, and I'm grabbing white, and the blue exploded on me. See that, guys? Went to pour the blue, and the pump was clogged, and we had a nice mess all over Eve right before she was about to hit the button. Messy girl in the house. Are we surprised? No. We are not surprised. That does not surprise us, does it, ladies? Does it? Not in the least. Okay. So, we have our pretty yellow. Swoop, 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 swoop. Okay. Hey! Oh, you thought, no, that's what the display picture is. This was Friday's. This is what I started last Friday, and I finished up this week. And I actually had it done early. I just never posted the event page. I did actually have it done before yesterday. This is what last week's turned into with all its final touches. So, we're starting from the beginning, baby. Oh, yeah. But if you started with this, we're going to follow the same thing. If you started with this, I'm just doing the steps that lead up to this. So, if you have this already for yourselves because you watched last Friday, good. Because we're going to get to where we add to this, okay? So, no worries. And you can, schmooze anything that you might want to schmooze up until that point. Okay, so I got my yellow in. And we're going to make the bottom green. So, I'm grabbing yellow, I'm grabbing blue, and I'm grabbing a little bit of white. So, we're going to do the bottom green. Now, remember with perspective, I said you make it darker in the back and lighter in the front, okay? So, but with this painting, you don't want it... You just hold your brush like this, straight onto the canvas, holding it in the back. The faster you go, the straighter your line's going to be, guys. Okay? Just like this. Boom. Actually, I don't even move the brush. I move myself. I don't know if you guys realize that. I place the brush and I move myself to get the straight lines. I don't know if you guys knew that. I keep the brush straight on. And I just move myself back and forth. So, there you go. And if you're sitting down, move your arm. Keep the brush on here. Keep the brush still. Move your arm. Alright, so we're putting this on. And we want it darker back here, but not too much darker because that's where our light source is going. And the light source would lighten up the grass. So, you don't have to worry about it too much. You don't have to make it too much darker. Just make it lighter in the front. Alright, so I'm grabbing a little bit of blue, right back to our perspective. Darker in the back. But I'm not making it too much darker because that's where our light source is going to be. Okay, and then lighter towards the front. So, I'm just grabbing more yellow, more white, and less blue. Swipe, swipe, back and forth. Swipe, swipe, back and forth into what you've done, into the new stuff, into what you've done, into the new stuff. Okay? Get those seamless, seamless blends. Not too thick, not too crazy, right? Because we're going to be adding stuff to this, so we don't want goopy gobby mess, right? We don't want goopy gobby mess going on. Da 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 da. So, did any of you have a lot of rain? We had a lot of rain this week. Like, I didn't get to go outside at all, which is a bummer, because I was really enjoying being outside, and I didn't get to go outside at all to work on my yard. You'll have to catch the replay. You're not feeling so good tonight? Aw, Kimberly. Hands and hearts for Kimberly, everybody. Hands and hearts for Kimberly. I hope you feel better soon, sweetie. Get your rest. Sometimes all you need is a good rest. You're welcome, sweetheart. You have a great evening, and I will see you next week. All right. Big boy goes in the water. Putting big boy in the water. Wipe him off first. Get rid of all those goopy gobs, and in the water he goes. All right, we're going to take out Mini-Me. We're going to take out Mini-Me. Carolyn. I do sewing for this guy who sets vignettes for a Civil War museum. Oh, that's really cool. That's really awesome, sweetheart. That's really cool, Carolyn. Alright, so I'm grabbing Mini-Me, a small flat brush, a small shader, and I'm grabbing white paint. Right? And we're going to split our canvas in half, find our center, split it in half again, about one hand over. You're going to put your semicircle of a sun. Now remember, you have a fence bending this way, right? And you're going to have a tree. So make sure you're leaving enough room for your tree and then your fence on the other side. Let that dry, and then you can always come back with another layer if it's not bright enough. I'm going to grab a little bit of my green. And clean up my edge. Okay. Now, we're going to swirl tap that big boy. Right? Pull them nice and flat on your paper towel. Okay, you want to make sure that you have a nice sharp edge. Hello, 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 Becky. How are you, sweetheart? I'm going to grab white and blue. Right, and I'm dabbing and pulling the color onto my brush to keep that nice sharp edge. Now, this curve is important. You don't want to make it too steep, okay? Because you're going to wind up problems when you go to stack your friends' posts. Remember when I showed you guys, you want it to be a gradual bend, so this way all your fence posts will line up without stacking on top of each other. So we'll start with the bottom one. I'm going to start under the grass, and I'm going to come this way, and I'm going to keep it a gradual bend all the way down. Right? And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to be like, all right, here, 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 here. Right? Make sure that they won't be stacking on top of each other. I'm doing very well, Becky. Thanks for asking. It's Friday night and I get to paint with my fam. Can't be much better than that. Can't be much better than that. All right. So I'm going to wipe the big boy because make sure I get my sharp edge again. I'm going to grab my blue and white again. Right? I'm going to come above my initial line. This was the original line right here. Faster you go, smoother it's going to be. I'm going to come above that. And as I get here, I'm going to make it wider. Right? It's going to be closer. It's going to be closer to the other line. And then as I get here, I'm going to make it wider away from the first line. Okay? I'm going to start here. Keep it close. And as I get around the bend, I'm going to make it go further away. Just like that. And then leave it alone, because if you keep playing with it, you're going to wind up with it being really thick. Leave it alone. Alright, I'm going to grab my blue and white again. I'm going to make sure I have a nice fine edge on my brush again. I'm going to put my fence posts in, right? Holding it straight up. A little bit above, a little bit below. Now these are going to be closer together. And then as I come around the bend, right, we're going to put them farther away and bigger. Straight down. Hello, 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 Tina B. How you doing, sweetheart? I was just talking about that, Tina B. That we had a lot of rain this week, so we didn't. I didn't get to go out in my garden. Okay, and this was the whole perspective lesson. Remember, guys? The further away, the... Do I have blue paint on my mouth? I think I do. Oh, I got blue paint on my mouth. You guys see that? How'd that even get there? How does those things happen? Oh my goodness. Small and smaller it gets. Yes, guys. Good job. Hi, Yolanda. How are you, sweetheart? There you go, Carolyn. There you go, Tina B. You guys got it. Woohoo! The smaller it gets. You guys got it. All right. Now, I'm going to put where my trees are going. Which tree's going to be smaller? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Guys, remember from last week? Or you can look at the reference picture. Which tree's going to be smaller? 1 or 2? The one that's all the way back here? Or the one that's up close? I'm just going to add red to my pile of green. Red and green make brown. Hey, Sheila, what's up? Hey, Jennifer. Very good, Carolyn. Good job, sweetheart. Haha, you got the grandkids? That's awesome. What's up, Sheila? How are you doing, sweetheart? Jennifer's in the house and Sheila. Very good, Carolyn. All right, I'm going to grab a little bit of black and put it with my brown. I'm going to pull my brush nice and flat again. Make sure I have a nice crisp edge. I'm going to come back here and we are going to add tree number 1, the smaller tree. Holding my brush right up against the canvas. I'm just pulling. Now remember, the more you play with it, the bigger it's going to get. And I'm just going to put some little offshoots on it. Nothing too fancy. Make our chicken feed again. That you're not supposed to make. But we're going to hit this with so much foliage, it's not going to matter. Alright, tree number 2, the bigger tree. I'm going to hold my brush back here. I'm going to put it straight up against the canvas. I'm going to move my arm, not the brush. I'm going to put it in between these 2 fence posts. Make sure that I'm not covering my sun up. Up it goes. Does it have a little bend in it? Absolutely. Why? Because I forgot where my sun was. So I put a little bend in it. We're going to straighten that out. That's awesome, Carolyn. That's so cool. Logan gets really nervous when we mix colors. But that, like the brown or the aqua, but once you get them, he gets very excited. That's awesome. Okay. I'm going to hold my brush back here. I'm going to follow my branch and curve outward. Again, we're not going to worry too much about our edges or anything like that, because there's going to be a lot of foliage going on. We just want these bigger branches in here. Right? And then you work backwards, making your trunk thicker, 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 and thicker. Aw, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, Jennifer. That's great. And I'm just going to cover up that 1 fence post because I didn't need it. Hi. Jennifer, tell her I'm waving. I'm saying hi. Alright, there we go. Okay. Tree number 2 is done. that out more. Oh, I got another one coming up around the sun here. There we go. And I'm just using the excess paint that I have in my brush to paint the side of my canvas. That's what I'm doing. If you're wondering what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Getting all that excess paint out of my brush. And we're painting the side of the canvas with it. There it is. Okay, so big boy goes in the water. Now we're going to take Mini-Me. And we're going to go in with some more white and some more blue. And we're going to put in, right, I can hold it like a pencil, so I'm going to put in my fence flat spreader. And straighten them out. Okay, and these get bigger the closer you get. Ah, that's awesome, Jennifer. That's awesome. Alright, and your fence slats get bigger as they get closer to you. And lighter. Bigger and lighter. Alright, gonna grab some more paints and do the ones that are on the bottom. Bigger and lighter as they get closer to you. So as you're doing this, just add more white paint to your blue paint. Now I'm going to do the posts. Move my hand, not the brush. Straight down. Bigger and lighter. Again, as they get closer to you. So just add more white paint to your blue. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Right. Alright, now, the scary stuff. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to do cast shadows. Okay, so, if you guys remember, cast shadows follow the angle of your light source. Follow the angle of your light source. Okay, so, my light source is here. I'm going to make it a little brighter so you guys can see it. There's my light source. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, Joan. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not going to be me, but, you know, you probably still will have a good time. I hope you have a good time, darling. All right. So, I'm going to grab a tiny. I'm grabbing blue paint. All right. You follow the angle of your light source. Here's my light source. Here's my angle. Sweep this in. Okay, here's my light source. I'm going to the center of my circle. Find my angle. Sweep it in. Very small amount of paint. Aw, thank you, Joan. Alright, my light source, my angle, big old elbow in the way. Sweep it in. Light source, angle. Sweep it in. Now these here are going to be like sideways, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Those back there are going to be sideways. Right, Jennifer? Yeah, I know. Every time I advertise the one that I do locally, all of you guys are like, oh, I wish it was here, I wish it was here. Is it really? Well, you're going to knock it out of the park. You can go there and tell everybody what's up. I already know how to do this. Alright, I'm going to take my blue paint. And I'm going to put the top part of the fence that would be reflecting. Okay? The shadow. So, I'm going to put these in. Having them all connect. And the way I gauge this is the amount of space from the top of the fence to the actual rail. And make sure I'm leaving about the same amount of space from my shadow to the rail. Small amount of paint. It's just a shadow. You don't have to make it solid in color. It's just a shadow. There you guys go. One fence with a sunset, creating a shadow. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, guys. You can totally do this, right? I followed the curve. I made my angles. All of that fun stuff. Now you know where your lights and your darks are going to be. Same with the tree. The trees have the highlights where the light is coming from. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And where the branch is dark, but where the branch isn't is light. See, that's where my big branch was. That's where the sun's coming through. Big branches, sun is coming through. Okay, so the highlights on your trees make a difference because your sun is coming from there. All right, so you need to keep that in mind. Also, make sure that you put the branch in. All right, let's take Mini-Me and our brown paint. Now, I put the branch in, but make sure you put a piece to where it's going to droop down and catch the hat. And we'll make this all pretty, you know that. We're just putting in our shapes and our objects and everything else. We're just telling ourselves where everything's going with this first layer. And as we add our layers, we'll make everything pretty. So I'm just taking Mini-Me and adding some more branches in. Right? And you just follow it backwards, making the other areas thicker. That's awesome. All right, there we go. It's smushing time. We're done thinking. We're done having to think now. All the thinking is done until we get to where we highlight our stuff. So it's smushing time. Give you a little bit of ketchup mustard. Let's do some roll call. Yolanda's here. Joan, Marcia, Carolyn, Kimberly, Kathy, Becky, Tina B, Jennifer, and Sheila. Oh yeah. How's everybody's Friday doing? How y'all doing out there? Hope you're doing well. Everybody recouping from the weekend? Getting ready for the next weekend? Okay, so I'm going to get Small Fluffy out. Small Fluffy! Why am I getting Small Fluffy? Because these are going to be smaller smushes, and then we're going to get to bigger smushes. Very technical here. Smaller smushes and bigger smushes. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to grab my blue, and I'm going to grab my yellow, and I'm going to grab a tiny bit of white, just a little bit, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we're going to smush all on the bottom of our fence. Small back here. Now smush on the bottom of your fence, not on your shadow line. I almost wanted to do the shadow line just now. The bottom of the fence, not the shadow line. Alright, I'm going to get to about here. And then I'm going to grab a bigger brush. So while I have this paint on my smaller brush, I'm going to smush my tree. Now, we're not worried about colors or anything else right now. We are just putting in the foliage. And why did I do this with hardly any branches made? Because a lot of you keep following the branch. Don't follow the branch. So you're going to do this without a lot of branches in. Alright? So we're going to do it without a lot of branches, and we're just going to smush here and there, not everywhere, making a nice shaped top of a tree. And you're going to practice this without having the branches in, so you guys get more comfortable of filling in foliage without following anything. Okay, now it's time for the bigger brushes. So now I'm going to grab my large fluffy in the house. Right? Grab my blue, grab my yellow, grab a little bit of white. Oh yeah, Carolyn. And I'm going to smush in my bigger smushes. Okay, blue, yellow, a little bit of white. We're going to come into our beautiful tree. And we're going to smush, not following the branches. We're just going to fill this in with all this pretty green wonderfulness. And keep it moving. Because if you smush too much in one spot, you're going to wind up with it being all mushed together, and you're not going to get the textures of the branches. Hi, Angie. How you doing, sweetheart? Okay, no worries. Let me get it for you. So if you swipe the comments off, you can take a screenshot, Angie. You're welcome, darling. And it's also, the picture of it is also on my event page for tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now I'm going to go in with yellow. Right, dirty brush and all. I'm going to grab yellow and I'm going to grab white. I'm going to come in and I'm going to see where my sun would be hitting. So if my sun is here, I'm just going to take my hand and go like this. And the sun's hitting here, here, here. Okay. And I'm adding the lighter yellow to everywhere the sun would be hitting. So here's my sun. Go like this. And then I know where the sun would be hitting my tree. And I'm going to add all the lighter yellow moments. skipping over my branches. You like that trick, Angie? And also, now I'm going to extend it further and say, hey, maybe there's a ridge right here that's behind it that the sun's hitting back here too, because this tree is round, right? It's not flat. So these pieces back here could have the sun hitting the bottoms of those. So it's your world. And also, okay, we have the branch that's hanging down that caught the hat. So here's my sun. I'm going to follow it this way. And it's all going to hit that side. Now I'm going to grab some dark, right? I'm just grabbing some blue with a little bit of black, and a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to go in and put in my dark areas. So everywhere the sun hit, it's the areas in between. So I got big branches here, so I'm going to put some dark areas in here. Right? Kind of where my branches were. Because the branch might be blocking the sun on those parts. Now you stick and move, and you don't keep smushing, because you're going to wind up making this a mushy mess. And if you have a tendency of making this a mushy mess, wait for your one layer to dry and then do your next layer. Okay, now I'm just grabbing some more yellow and white and putting this in to gel with the little dark pieces. And then you have one highlighted tree with the light coming from there. And this tree's easier because the light is hitting the one side of it. So, go in with my dark, and all on this side is dark areas. Now you can switch to your smaller brush if you have to. Okay, so we have all dark areas. And then the other side. Thank you, Becky. What time do I start Central Time? I don't know what I Google it. I Google time zones. I'm Eastern. So Eastern, I start at 7 o'clock. Does anybody know what that would be for Central Time, guys? Help Angie out. I get confused. And I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Thank you, Becky. Right? And then maybe there's a little bit right here hitting. Maybe. Right? You guys remember when we did the shadows and shading and all of that? 6 p.m. You're in Illinois. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, darling. Okay. And it's a very, 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 very light touch, guys. Very light touch. And like I said, if it starts getting mushy on you, let it dry. And then go back and add your darkers and your lighters and all of those kind of things. Okay, so now I'm going to just smush off my excess paint here by the tree. Because this has the little flowers, right? Okay. You're welcome, darling. Now, we are going to take Mini-Me. Alright, let me give you some ketchup mustard time, because I'm cruising right along, and some of you, Oh, there you go, Joan. See, there's using your noggin. I get asked about all different time zones, and I always confuse what's going on. So, with all the initials and everything else, so I just Google it, and Google saves me. Thank you, Shelly. How are you doing, sweetheart? What's going on? Okay, so, excuse me a second. We're going to take Mini-Me, and we're going to take some blue paint. Some blue paint. Okay, Shelly, it sounds cool. Alright, and we're going to go under our bushes, and we're going to do a little zigzag zoom. And then I'm going to soften it with my finger. Because our bushes would be creating a shadow. And if you noticed, I'm going in the direction of the curve, following the direction of the posts. Okay, and then I'm just going to soften with my finger. Oh, there you go. Alright. So now you have the shadow that your bushes would cast on the grass. And I'm just going to take Big Boy and I'm going to soften that all out. Just a damp Big Boy, that's all it is. paper towel. Because my big boy had made colors go places, so just taking a paper towel, cleaning it up a little bit, and softening everything. Thank you, Jennifer, softening everything together. You like this one? This one's not too hard to do if you follow the directions, and it's a nice, simple, pretty painting. You know what I mean? But it definitely is a level up. A lot of, there's a lot in this painting that people look at it and you're like, that's really pretty. But when you put it into the pieces, it's the cast shadows, it's the highlighting, it's all those little tiny things that are making it different and pretty, because we have light coming from one spot that we don't usually put the light from, and we have cast shadows in, and this is all level up stuff, guys. But I know you can do it because you were doing it when we did the how-to of cast shadows and shading and all that, and when we did the how-to of perspective, right? You knew how to do that. You answered all the questions the whole time, and now we're just doing a painting that has both of those things in it. And you guys can totally do this because you were totally doing it with the other stuff. All right. Now, we're going to take Fluffy. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to take Mini-Me. My bad. Mini-Me. And you just want to add the details to your fence so they look more wood-like. So I'm going to grab white. And I'm going to grab a little bit of blue. And I'm going to flicky-do to give this the look of wood grain. So white and a little bit of blue. And you're going to flicky-do for some wood grain. And these back ones, you don't have to worry about too much because you don't see detail in them. They're further away. Okay, and then you want to flicky-do your planks here. Now, mine's coming out on the black side because I don't have much blue left on my palette, and my blue exploded, so I'm trying to milk my blue. Ah, thank you, Jennifer. That's awesome. So, right, we're going to flicky-do in some wood grain. Okay, and you can come back with Nifty and do this very particularly if you want to. If you want to really get some pieces of wood grain in there, you flicky-do with Nifty. So it's up to you how much detail you want to get into. Now we're going to smush. So I'm grabbing Fluffy, and I'm grabbing white, and I'm grabbing yellow, and everywhere that's peeking through that is not in the shadow of the fence is going to get some white and yellow on it. And you're still following those same angles as before. See how I'm putting my finger here so I know what angles that was? So this way, that part does not get highlighted. Right? And then you could go in with your darker color and put in the darker pieces. Okay, and that whole part on the back here is all dark because the sun would actually be just grazing over the top of everything. So this is all dark back here because it would just go right across the top and just hit this little tiny bit that would be on the top. And then this tree would be making like the biggest shadow you've ever seen. And I'm just tapping this stuff in, just making it softer. Just making it softer. Make sure you could tell where the shadow is in the foliage compared to where the highlight would be in the foliage. Right, just like that. Just doing your darks and your lights, guys. Your darks and your lights. And if you have to use a smaller brush, use a smaller brush. Nothing wrong with using a smaller brush. So now we're on to details, baby. Right? We need our flowers that were by the tree. And you guys can totally add even more flowers. You can put little vines and flowers onto your fence posts if you want to. Just remember that over here you're going to see everything, and when you get to back here, it's not going to be very detailed at all. Like just little dots of color if you were going to add something. But then over here you would see all the intricate pieces and the centers of the flowers and like everything else, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you're going to add flowers to your row of hedges, make sure that as you're going further away, there's less detail to them, okay? Because you guys can do this. All right, what concepts do you want to learn next, guys? Yolanda, Joan, Marcia, Carolyn, Kimberly, Kathy, Becky, Tina B, Jennifer, Sheila, Angie, and Shelly. I did shading and cast shadows. We did perspective. What do you want to learn about? I like doing the how-tos and then having you guys do a painting that incorporates what we did on the how-to. I think that's pretty cool. I used to do that a while ago, like a long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember. I'd have How-To Tuesdays. And then Friday would have the pieces of the painting that I taught on Tuesday. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much, darling. So, and I think that's a really cool and fun way so you guys can level up. There's got to be some stuff. Like, I could probably redo some stuff. Some of my videos are like 3 to 4 years old already, so I could probably redo some of the concepts, because that was Baby Eve. I was Baby Eve some of those things. All right. So we're going to turn around and we're going to put in small branches, right? So I'm going to grab Mr. Nifty. I'm going to make sure my paint is nice and loose and thin by adding some water to it. And we're going to go in here and we're going to add some smaller branches in here, right? It's tiny, 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 tiny. And then you weave them in and out of your foliage to give your tree some depth. And we've got a lot of new peeps nowadays too, Tina B. So, this way, if I do it again, people can ask more questions. Building a painting from the ground up. What does that mean? How to do a volcano. I never did a volcano. That's for sure. Woo! That's definitely for sure. I've never done a volcano. Ah, that's awesome, Tina B. Congratulations, darling. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so you're going to weave this foliage in and out so you're giving depth to your tree. And then you can fix any of your pieces that you might have gone over. I'm adding some black. And I'm going to add some brown on this side. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of red with my brown. Since this side of the tree is getting hit by sunlight, I'm going to add some reddish brown to it. How do you decide what to paint? That's what you meant. Oh. Like just coming up with ideas? That's what you meant by idea generation. I thought you meant like you're generating ideas for how-tos, not generate an idea for a painting. So, how to get yourself started on a painting? I understand. Okay. Okay. I don't know what you'd call that, though. A how-to on concepts. Putting branches over like that is one of the most valuable things I've ever taught us. It really makes trees and shrubs look so much better. Aw, thanks, Carolyn. Yep. That's all you do. You just weave them in and out, and automatically your tree has depth. And you didn't have to worry about where you were smushing, or right? We smushed this tree without any foliage, without any branches on it at all. Thank you, sweetheart. Right? And then you're going to do the same thing to your bigger tree. But I am just going to concern myself with the branch that is snagging the hat. So I'm going to follow the branch going in, right? I'm going to weave in and out pieces of that branch. I want to make sure my paint's not goopy gobby. If you notice that you're starting to press harder or your lines are coming out thick, thank you, Anita. Thank you so much. It probably means your paint's too thick. Because your brush should just glide very easily without giving you any problems. So if you notice that you're starting to press harder, or if you notice that it's not gliding, that means your paint is too thick. It should be pudding consistency or ink-like. It is a long branch. It's a long branch. I think to come with ideas, saving pictures from magazines, making a Pinterest board, different paintings really helps you think and perhaps take pieces from different things to change up and create your own painting. Yes, using references is very true to help you conceptualize what you want to paint. All right, I'm going to grab clean white paint and we're going to map in our hat and our flowers. So I am going to take Mr. Nifty and I'm going to give you guys all a close-up. Okay, close-up time. There we go. So the first thing I did was I put squiggly do coming out that way and a squiggly do coming out this way. Okay. And then I put the round part of the hat, but I put it at to where it looked like it was dipping down. So this angled this way, and then I brought it in. So it looks like the hat is hanging. Okay, and I'm going to color in the bubble of the hat so you guys can picture it better. Now I'm going to grab a red and white. We're going to color this all in. Now, you guys can pick whatever color hat you want. Hint, hint. Whatever color hat you want. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a minute. And I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to add some flowers. One, two, 3, 4, 5. One, two, and I'm just pressing Nifty down and letting the bristles make the flowers. And just come back in and round some of the edges. And I'm just grabbing white and red on my brush, all separated like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like hands of a clock. Go in, around the mouth. Grabbing more paint. And you can have as many flowers as you want, or as little flowers as you want. Usually it's a rule of odds. Okay, so we'll do 5. Alright, I'm going to grab a little bit of red. Took you to do some red into some of them. Okay. Now, where you put those breaks in your tree, in between the branches, you want to do a little smush smush to bookend those branch breaks. Okay, so you're going to do a little smush smush. To get those branches to look like they're coming in and out of the foliage. Okay. Now, I'm going to make my hat pink, so I'm making myself a pink color. Come in here and color it all in. Now I'm going to grab just red, and I'm going to shade the part where the hat piece hangs over. Wipe off my brush. Dab between these two areas. Little zigzag zoom. Right? Then you would wait for that to dry. In a perfect world, you could also, before you wait for it to dry, you can add some white if it's still wet and add brighter area to the top of the hat piece. Grab some white, add it to the top part of this hat piece right here. Grabbing some more red. Okay, just like that. The girl was running off, and she ran off to go see some pretty flowers on the other side. And as she was running off, because she just checked out these flowers, and then as she ran off, she her hat got snagged on the branch, and she lost her hat. So she's just realizing that her hat got caught. That's why I called the name of the painting "Caught." She just realized her hat got caught, and now she has to come back and get it. I'm going to grab just whites, and I'm going to follow the band of the hat. And then I'm going to drop a ribbon down this way. Drop a ribbon down that way. Or it could be a windy day, like you said. Right? Once it dries, you can add your purple or whatever color you're going to do. And there, sounds good? Alright. And there, guys, is your spring hat. As Joan says, on a windy day. And then I just took some white paint and I made a fold over. So I made this lighter purple. So it looks like the ribbon folded over. And then you put darker purple. On the inside. Okay, guys, so there you have it. There you have it. Our caught painting. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget stars is enabled. You can send stars on any one of my videos. PayPal and Venmo for support, guys. I shared the links with you. Remember, the replay will only be available on Facebook for up to 30 days. And then it is over on YouTube. So bye. Subscribe to YouTube. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing weekend and week. And I am going to see you next Friday. Thank you so much, Yolanda, Joan, Marcia, Carolyn, Kimberly, Kathy, Becky, Tina B, Donna, Shelly, Angie, Sheila, and Jennifer for joining me tonight. And Joan, look at your camera. Got to show you something that's adorable. You're welcome, Carolyn. You're welcome, everybody. So, and with that, I'm going to say good night. Okay? I will see you next week. Y'all warm my heart. Have fun. Go create. All right, bye, guys.